I'm Zoe Brown and I'm the Outreach Officer for TWAM, and I manage the outreach team and I coordinate their work programme and I work on the strategic side of the role as well. We were approached by staff who coordinate the Our Museum programme to create something that would help people involved in that programme better understand what outreach is. So what we do, who we work with, how we approach our work, and why we actually do it at all, what the benefits are. So this is a short film that will hopefully answer those questions, and if it raises more questions then great, please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to have a chat with you about it. So essentially outreach work is just a term for working outside of the venues, and what we actually do is community engagement. We work with people across Tyne Wear districts who presently don't engage with the museums or the galleries or the archives, and some people don't visit the venues and access the website or even get involved with the adult learning classes for many reasons, but one of the most important reasons I think is a fear of the unknown. So if somebody hasn't grown up with culture and heritage being part of their lives, but specifically being taken to museums or galleries as a child, it makes visiting exhibitions later on in life seem unimportant or irrelevant, or not even something that they would think of doing because they might perceive it as just not being a place for them. They might not fit in, they don't know what goes on inside a museum or gallery. So it's our job to challenge that, to inspire people by using the collections, and to encourage people to get involved with TWAM in some way. We do this by designing with participants and their workers a programme of workshops which might include visits to venues, and it might extend even further by promoting the volunteering programme and the adult learning programme. And you'll hear about details of those workshop programmes a bit later on in the film from the assistant outreach officers themselves. And I'd like to explain a little bit about who we work with, because as I mentioned before, we work with people who don't engage with TWAM, and that's a lot of people. We do work with a lot of people, but that's a lot of people that don't engage with TWAM as well. Some people might say that's an impossible task to engage everyone. So obviously we work in a very strategic way, and it focuses on engaging some of the most vulnerable people in society. So our approach is to work with external organisations, and we partner with them. We don't work necessarily with individuals. We call our external partners community stakeholders, and currently we're working with NECA, which is North East Council on Addictions. We work with Northumbria Probation Trust. We also work with Moving Forward through Mental Health Concern, and we work with older people alongside NHS occupational therapists, but also in independent and council-run care homes. We also use a different model of working, which is based on targeting people in a specific geographical area. And you might have heard or seen a little bit about West End Stories, the exhibition or the events and talks programme. We'll hear a bit more about that later on as well. So why does the outreach team exist, and why engage communities? That's one of the questions that we've been asked. Well, apart from TWAM mission statement is all about people. About helping people to define their identities and their place in the world, respecting others, and so forth. That's a major reason why we do this. But also, for me, as a local museum service, we've got a moral duty to engage people with their collections, because essentially the collections belong to the people. And that means that if they can't come to us, if people can't come to the museum or the gallery or the archives, then we make sure that that service goes out to them. There's also a wider societal benefit to the work that we do, in that targeting people with mental health problems or people with addiction issues, or older people, we can support external organisations with their health and wellbeing agendas. So working in partnership, it really benefits and helps to increase the confidence of the participants, but also the confidence of professionals in using the resources that museums, galleries and archives have in their everyday practice. It also helps to improve people's mental health and well-being. People can become more independent and resilient because of the workshops that they've been involved with us. It reduces hospitalisation, we've actually found that working with older people and occupational therapists, that's been demonstrated. And we also reduce the so-called revolving door or representing, you might have heard that term, of people kind of needing to access support, leaving an organisation, going back into the community, but then actually needing to come back to an organisation again for more support. We can actually help with that. And there's lots of other benefits as well that you'll hear later on. And also, I think it's really important to think about what TWAM get out of this and what the benefits are for us being in partnership with these organisations. And I mean, one of the things is we've got fantastic professionals that we work with, and they're advocating our service. They're telling other people, their friends and their allies. They tell other people about what it is that we do, and that's really important for us to have that outside promotion. We also get really great alternative interpretations of the collections from the people that we work with. Politically, it's also very important for us to engage with the local communities. We also get opportunities for some really excellent contemporary collecting, some really interesting objects that come from communities, and they want to leave those objects with the museum. We also get a much better understanding of local communities, because essentially we are helping to represent those communities as part of this service, and we get much better knowledge of the collections themselves from different people that we work with out in the community. Because if you want to know something about shipbuilding, talk to somebody who worked in shipbuilding, you're going to get some really detailed information from them. And this is kind of more of a business thing, but it really opens up funding opportunities and possibilities for different types of funding, not just in the cultural and heritage sector, but also in justice funding, and also health and wellbeing funding and commissioning opportunities. So we get an awful lot out as an organisation being in partnership with others.